Welcome to Annuities and Table of Interest Factors. So for this video, instead of using the GP formulas, we are going to use tables of approximate values. Now this overlaps with the standard maths course. So when they say that there will be questions related to both courses in their HSC, this is one of those topics that they're talking about. The concept is to make the calculations easier and quicker to apply because you're just reading from a table. What you've got to be careful of is to make sure you change the rate and or the unit of time depending on the compounded period. We've got an example for compound interest, depreciation and an annuity, which is the regular contribution questions. So here's our first one where we're looking at compound interest. The table shows that for when $1 is invested for a particular period of time, just the amount that it grows to, depending on the interest rate and the number of periods that it's compounded for. So we're going to look at final amount if we invest $4,500, 2% per annum compounded annually for 4 years, and what amount invested, so we're going to find the principal, when 3 years at 2% per annum compounded half yearly, if it grows to 8,000, so the final amount's 8,000. So the first one, we're looking at 2% per annum compounded annually, and it's for 4 years. So compounded annually, the 2% is already in years, it's per annum, and the 4 years is already in the right one. So we just go to the table, and $1 would get us $1.0824. So our 4,500 invested, we times by that, and so it would grow to $4,870.80. For the second one, 3 years at 2% per annum compounded half yearly. So the emphasis here is on compounded half yearly. So we need our units in half years. So 3 years is 6 half years, and 2% per annum is 1% per half year. So from the table, that becomes 1.0615. That's the number we're going to use. And so we know that it grows to 8,000, so we're finding the principal. So the principal times 1.0615 has to equal to 8,000. So the amount you must invest is $7,536.50. Our second example is on the depreciation. So when $1 initially is worth, when it's initially worth $1, how much will it depreciate to over a particular period of time, depending on these percentages and the number of years that it depreciates. So we're going to look at $7,500 depreciating for 4 years at 18% per annum. So the 4 years at 18%, finding that in the table. So $1 depreciates to 0.4521. So $7,500 will depreciate to $3,390.75. Our third example is an annuity. So this is when we make regular contributions. So these are annuities of $1. So $1 invested every year or month or whatever it happens to be. So for this one, we're investing $4,000 every year for 5 years, 3% per annum compounded annually. So everything is in years. So we just need to find the equivalent factor in the table. So 5 years at 3%, you can see that's 5.309. So therefore, that's what $1 invested every year for 5 years would earn. So 5 years for 4,000, we do 4,000 times 5.309, and we get 21,236. Thank you.